So that's why we make sure from day one that not only are they connected, but they also have buddies and mentors in the business. They have our independent psychologists that they can go to, that they will have met during day one, because it's really important for us to recognise that when you go through an apprenticeship, you have got to not only get the balance right of studying and working, but you have to put your heart and soul into it. At Coca-Cola Europacific Partners, celebrating our apprentices are really, really important. As I look back, 2015 was when we had our first celebration, and there was only probably about 6 apprentices at that time. As we fast forward to 2024, we had nearly 200 guests as well as the apprentices. And on an annual basis, what we now do with them is we bring them for 3 days, that's all of our apprentices together, so they can reconnect, communicate, team build, and then we hold a graduation for those who have completed their apprenticeship. We hold that always in a church, in a chapel, because of the grandeur that sits behind that. They're all robed, gowned, with their mortarboards, and it's just absolutely incredible. And then what we do is in the evening we hold our gala dinner and awards for the apprentices, where we recognise our rising stars in each of our different areas of the business, and we actually allow them to relax, party, and kind of almost have that end of year celebration, end of term celebration. And we do that because it's really important for us to recognise that when you go through an apprenticeship, you have got to not only get the balance right of studying and working, but you have to put your heart and soul into it. It's not like when you go to university and that's the only thing that you're doing. So we want them to feel that they get that fantastic opportunity to celebrate the same as anybody else, or they see it as an annual big party. One of the biggest things for us is that start of that journey for our apprentices coming on board. And it actually starts before they even commence their contract with us. So probably about 6 weeks out from joining, we take them to see the training provider. We have a number of different training providers we use. And we will take them to, if it's going to be a university, to that university. But we'll also invite their parents, guardian carers to attend as well. So they get to see where that young person is going to be spending their time as well as at work. We hold a number of virtual calls, so they start to build that community. So when they join us on day one, they already know a number of the people because they've made that connection throughout the onboarding process. For our apprentices, they all get to spend a whole week together. Doesn't matter what programme they're doing, they all get to spend that whole week at our head office in Uxbridge. They're residential for that period of time. And what it allows them to do is to have that connection time before they even start their actual apprenticeship work or the job role that they're going to be undertaking during that apprenticeship. And it helps them to form that bond and make new friends and connections who are going to support them all the way through that journey. In addition, we also bring in an early career psychologist to help them with the transition from academia into the workplace, because most of our apprentices will have come straight out of some form of academic establishment. And the latest thing that we also do is financial money management as well in that first week. Many will have come from backgrounds where they won't have had lots of excess money. And if you can imagine, they then get that first pay slip, no idea about what they should be spending their money on. And so they think, great, I'm going to go out shopping. We want to do the financial education and well-being at the same time. So as part of their onboarding, we try to build a whole package around them to set them up for success. So the retention of our young people at CCP is really, really important. They are our future leaders coming into the business. So that's why we make sure from day one that not only are they connected, but they also have buddies and mentors in the business. They have our independent psychologists that they can go to, that they will have met during day one. They have lots and lots of support and pastoral care around them. The training providers that we use from a program perspective also ensure that they are well looked after throughout the program. But one of our biggest step changes that we made, in particular for our sales apprentices, was we actually now put in a really clear career path that they are following throughout their program. So we bring them in at an entry-level role. It allows them time to adapt and find their feet within the organisation, as well as getting that balance right when they're studying. Then in year 2, they move on to the next role because they're now comfortable. They understand the role, they understand the culture, they're ready to be stretched just that little bit more. And then from years 3 and 4, if you're on a degree apprenticeship, they own their career, which means that they have the same opportunities to go and apply for higher, more senior roles within the organisation, that they've got the right skill sets for. So they're really starting to see the career path and where they're going to offboard to once they've completed their apprenticeship. And we use lots of case studies around this as well, so that again, they can go and talk to people who have followed a similar path to what they have done. And we find that that really helps with their retention on programme. So we've been members of Youth Employment UK since 2018. That's when we first formed our partnership. And what was really critical at that particular point was at Coca-Cola, we didn't have an early career strategy or a youth strategy. So we then undertook the original benchmark to tell us where are our gaps as part of our planning and the strategy. And actually it's that membership and that journey that we've been on all that time that helps us to always go back, reflect, what is it we're trying to aim? What is it we're trying to achieve? And are we hearing the voices of the youth that we want to bring into our organisation? Does that run through all of our plans and all of our strategy? And actually it's that connection and membership with Youth Employment UK and also other organisations who are also members that allows us to really understand what's right for us as an organisation. Without that membership, I think it probably wouldn't be as good as it is today.